Legends, welcome back to another team preview from the Ruck Infringement Podcast. This week's team preview is none other than the West Tigers. To join me, our mate Dale from our show. How are you, Dale?
Yeah, I'm great, mate. That's the episode everyone's been waiting for. Finally, we get to sit down and talk about a great team. Can't wait to get started.
Oh, mate, we love every second of you, mate. That's why we got you on here. Of course, our resident Tigers fan. Of course, many of you would know the stats man as well. He is still driving home. He's going to try and jump on a bit later. Joining us all the way from Speak Free with Matty G is the one and only Matty G. How are you, buddy?
I'm very well. How are you, mate?
Mate, I am fantastic. What a pleasure to finally have you on. I'd say meeting in the flesh, not really in the flesh, but sort of. I can see your beautiful face. And for those watching on the YouTube, mate, what a get-up you've got on. You are looking slick.
I do love it. I do love this jersey. It's probably my favourite jersey of all time, I reckon, at this point.
It's very nice.
Very nice. And it's good for like a wearing out jersey too, actually, because it's not too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's just enough. It's classy. You know, classy like the West Tigers.
Very nice.
Very good ball.
Yeah, if you say so. Now, I mean, I like your jersey too. Anyway, this is a West Tigers preview. We are going to crack straight in, boys, with some ins and outs for 2026 for the West Tigers. Now, boys, when you go through the gains and losses, there's not too many in this side. Of course, Jock Madden returns from the Broncos. He's a big one. Dale, any other real gains and losses for this year that interest you at all, or anyone you want to talk about?
Of course, mate. You missed the main one, KPP. Fitting in on that edge.
How could I forget?
Yeah, it's what we need. Good running power off that edge is what we've been lacking in a lot of games. And really, that confidence is our main downfall. I'll touch a bit more on that later as we go. But yeah, KPP, great potential, and it's exactly what we need this year.
Yeah, mate. Look, what he did at Newcastle was fantastic. He's a very, very good player. Matty, any other players you are excited to see that have come over from another club maybe this season?
Look, I would just agree with Kaipi's Paul. Very excited for him. One mention I will make is possibly that Maverick Gaia could get a start at some point in the season. I think he's one to watch. I think he could be a real surprise packet for the West Tigers. And obviously, we saw the debut in the last game of the year last season. But Hamasi Makasini, my boy, I'm very, very excited to see him play more footy. He's big body, very talented, and I think he could be a real game changer for us.
Oh, absolutely, mate. He's going to be a player I'll be talking about in the Supercoach section. Let us go into a bit of our 2025 review now of the West Tigers season. Now, for Tigers fans, it was actually a really good year. You vastly improved from the seasons before that, finishing 13th, 24 games played, 135 minus 135, that is, points differential, and 24 competition points, which last season the comp was so tight. 24 competition points was actually pretty good. But you were only 6 points off being in the top 8. So having that many points was really, really good for the West Tigers. Dale, we talk a bit about their season. Mate, where did it go wrong for you in 2025?
Like I said before, it all comes down to lack of confidence, I reckon. It's not just last season. If you look at a few previous seasons where Tigers are losing their games, it's all from lack of sorry to use the word again, but lack of confidence. So you see no one makes more inconsistent errors or silly mistakes than the West Tigers, whether it be ruck infringements on the fifth and last tackle, silly scrum errors, or something as simple as a play the ball that they mess up. It's always silly mistakes that cost us these mistakes. And you'll see a lot of times the West Tigers will always come out strong, and then we'll get a good lead or good momentum, and then it's always that last 10-20 minute gap at the end of the game we allow the other team to come back.
Yeah, no, mate. Look, you're exactly right. I think that's been one of their biggest downfalls. But some huge games in 2025. Beating my mighty Chooks after a long time was a pretty good win for you guys. Look, that game really hurt. But Matty G, what do you think of 2025, mate? And is it only up from here?
Look, I have to take myself out of what a year I had, because I look at 2025 with so much love and happiness. You know what I mean? Even though we didn't make the finals and that. But if I'm being honest about how we went, look, I think we should have finished a little bit higher. I think our season, I think 13th doesn't really reflect how much we improved. I think we were more around that 10th mark, 10th, 11th. Look, we're not a top 8. I wouldn't say we were a top 8 team last year. We showed glimpses of it. I think in those big moments, the Bulldogs game is a great example. That was a huge 80-minute team effort. And that's the identity. If they want to make the finals this year, that's the identity they need to have every single game. So, look, there were pockets of brilliance. Obviously, there was disruption throughout the year as well, with the Lachlan Galvin situation. And I think that hurt the club a lot more than they like to make out that it did. Obviously, one player doesn't make a team, but I think when you have a massive shift, especially in such a core position halfway through a season, or, you know, whenever it was, what was it, round 7 or round 8, something like that?
Yeah, 7, I think.
When that happens, and then there's a period where he's still at the club, and then there's a period where he leaves the club, and then, you know, and finding your feet again. I think that happening right in the middle of the season really, really hurt us, because that's when we saw the 6 in a row or whatever we lost before we beat the Chooks. And then we ended the year quite nicely until the last couple of rounds. So I think start of the year, end of the year looked pretty good. That middle chunk, a lot of disruption, looked pretty shit. So apologies if I'm not allowed to swear.
Oh, you are, mate.
But
we don't censor anything here.
All right, good. Speak French. But I think if that didn't happen, we're looking at a different outcome, you know. But it did happen, and now we got to move on from that. And I think a whole preseason without him there will be great for us. The same way it'll be great for Lachlan at Bulldogs. So I'm really excited for this year. I think we're a top 8 team.
Mate, I love it. An uninterrupted preseason is just what you guys need. Let's hope it stays that way. We've only 36 days to go. Can you believe it? All right, we're going to jump into a bit of Supercoach and NRL fantasy chat. Probably not so much NRL fantasy, but look, it's just there for our friends that do play that side of the game. That did open today. Supercoach opened a couple of days ago. Dale, we'll start off with you, mate. Of course, the Tigers do have the bye in round 1. So I wouldn't be jumping on yet if I were coaches that are playing the game. You may want to hold a player in your emergency. I just wouldn't. I just wait till round 2. But, mate, let's go through a couple of the players and some of the price points, and I'll get your thoughts on what you think of a few of these. But Terrell, mate, last year we saw what he did at the Tigers. Fantastic player. 811K front row. Mate, is he in your sights at all?
I think anyone would be lying if any seasoned Supercoach player would be lying if they said they weren't considering Terrell May at some point. The guy's just proven time and time again he doesn't have to do a hell of a lot to even get those points. Just an absolute power horse, workhorse, power horse, whatever. Yeah.
Hey, I love it. Power horse. Let's stay with that. It's great.
Year of the horse.
Look, year of the horse. There you go. We moved down the list a little bit. Obviously, Taylor May is the next most expensive for the Tigers at 617K. I'm probably steering clear in my centres. I'm going a little bit different. Matty G, one player I want to talk about, and this is more from a club perspective, but Adam Duahi, of course, he's halfback in Supercoach, but we saw the versatility last year, mate. Where do you think he's going to line up?
I think he'll start in halfback. Will he remain there for the whole year? I'm not sure yet. I really like last year as a halfback, and I don't know what the obviously there's been an injury, there's shoulder and everything, and he's had that operated on. So that's the reason for Dewey starting in halfback. Do I want him to stay there? I actually like him as a lock, or possibly a 14 utility. Look, I think he has moments of brilliance at halfback. It's definitely where he wants to play. And look, if he comes out and kills it in the first few weeks, I'm more than happy for him to stay there. Whatever wins us games. But I think in the long term, I really think Latu is our long-term halfback. I love the way he plays the game. He reminds me a lot of some freak athletes. A little bit of Benji in him. There's also a little bit of Benji and Romy as well. But I think I like how direct he is. Especially his ball running, which I think you need to have as a halfback these days. But I think he links up with Romy really, really nicely. I think even better than Lachlan Gavin was at their best early on last year. So, look, I'm all for sticking by Benji and whatever decision he makes. But, yeah, I think long-term Latu is our number 7, and Dewey is probably a 13 or a bench utility.
I have to agree with all of that. I would have him as that roaming lock forward, the ball playing lock. In Supercoach, he is priced at $5.56. Dale, option for you?
Is this Adam Dewey? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't say I've really looked into him this year. A lot of that has got to do with the fact that we do have the bye first round. Also, there's so many other brilliant options this year. So nothing against him, but just my brain immediately went elsewhere.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, there's so many cheap half options this year. I don't even think I'm going to start with Cleary, who he has a pretty tough schedule to start the year, but we'll get into that in a later podcast. But, mate, who are the Tigers, if any, that you currently have in your team?
Yeah, so I do have. I'm going to butcher his name, but the new center winger that we covered, that Matty G covered before, Macassini.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah, so there's a bit of shade around that area. You know, obviously he's going for Jarrell Skelton's spot, where he's proved last year what great impact he brought to the team. So, but there's so much wraps around this young kid, and everyone's talking so highly of him. And it goes to show with Supercoach as well. I'm pretty sure his ownership at the moment is around like 39, maybe approaching like 40% rate. So, yeah, you'd rather have him than not have him, especially considering the price. It's not going to do any harm.
Oh, mate, absolutely. He's 235K, which in Supercoach is cheap as. He's definitely a cheapie. He's one I'm looking at for round 2, depending on how my centre wings go. If I do have a couple of big guns that fail, I know I can go to a cheap option straight away. He is a great shout, mate. If I look down the list a little bit of the Tigers, there's no one that interests me that much. Maybe Appy Coruscant, who we know is always a really good Supercoach and fantasy player. At 541 in that hooking spot, you know, no one really taking minutes off him.
Yeah.
Is he an option for you? Yeah.
Pardon?
Is he an option for you? Would you go Coruscant?
I personally wouldn't. I've never. I just find with Supercoach, like the two positions in particular for me that I like to start off cheap is 5'8" and dummy half. They're just not really the positions that are proved to score well. I'd rather put my money in those consistent, good base scoring roles. You know, like your second rowers, and even your front row. A lot of people like to fade the front row lately, but although the minutes are low, the work rate of some of these players is immense. Like we were talking about Terrell May before. It's just incredible what you see him doing, you know. And I would also like to touch on what we said before about the West Tigers, people fading the players because of the round 1 bye. I also want to say to anyone that is watching the podcast that may be new to Supercoach, don't let that hold you back from from getting a player that you really want. If you really want Terrell May, Kalen May, Adam Dewey, any of those players, and you're too worried about that buy, that I must say, the thing that's most important is saving trades. So if you think I'll give it a week, if you think I'll give it a week and I'll bring him in next week or bring him in the next 3 weeks, sure, you may be covered for that one game in round one, but is it worth the risk when you burnt 2 or 3 trades to trade these players in off later?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. Absolutely. Matty G, let's talk about big Alex Twally, mate. Is he in for a big season?
I think so. I think he's only getting better each season, to be honest.
He is.
I think, yeah. He's a cult hero at the club. I think you can't be a Tigers fan unless you love Twally. He's brilliant. He's exactly what he's West Tigers personified. Just a tough bastard and willing to get in there and have a crack. And hey, there'll be a couple more meat pies this year. Mark my words.
I love it. From a Supercoach perspective, he is front row and second row dual, so very, very handy to have. Only 488k. So if he does get a starting role, not too bad. Pretty juicy there. But look, that's probably it for our Supercoach NRL fantasy chat with our Tigers players. As Dale said before, don't let the buy scare you. If you want to get a player in, get them in. So enjoy.
I would say one thing, sorry.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
I believe Jerome Luai is a great buy this year because he's going to have a Dally M winning season.
Mate, he's pretty cheap too. 465.
I saw him.
So
I ran into him on Tuesday afternoon. He's looking very fit. He's looking very ready, and he will be versing the Panthers at Leichhardt Oval in week 3 of the trials. So everyone get out to Leichhardt and watch it because Jerome will be playing against his old club.
Get out to the 8th wonder of the world, mate. All right, let's jump into our next part, players to watch. Now, this is where we talk about maybe some already established players who you think are going to have a big 2026. It could be a rookie. Matty G, let's start off with you. Who are some players to watch in 2026 for the West Tigers?
Well, we brought him up earlier, but I will say him again. Hamasi Makasini. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I know he only played the one game, but he scored a try on debut. He's just a freak. He's a freak. I watched him in a couple cup games last year as well. And yeah, look, he's like a Joseph Suaalii, that sort of big body. Rugby will come knocking. I know they will eventually. But for right now, he's a West Tiger, and let's get behind him. Another player to really watch this season is Taylor May. Now, we saw how great a back end he had when he came into the side late. And, yeah, I think this season he's just going to prove that he's the best centre in the world.
I love that shout. Fantastic shout. Dale, who are some players to watch for you, mate?
I've been thinking about it, and this has been one of my favourite players since he joined the club. I'm going to say Fanua Pole. I can't get enough of the bloke. He's an absolute machine. Probably one of the most underrated. That's the word I'm looking for. Underrated players in the comp, especially when it comes to forwards. Just been too overshadowed by so much talent around him. But yeah, Fanua Pole, incredible talent and only going to get even better.
I love it, mate. Now I've got to think on the spot.
Yeah, go on.
I had Fanua Pole too. I just love what he brings to your club. I just like watching him over the past couple of seasons and how he's really adapted his game. You know, he played a bit of lock as well, played in the front row. I just think he's so versatile and, yeah, I just love what he brought. So, yeah, that was a great shout.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great smile he has too. You seen his smile? Fuck, he's a good-looking bloke.
Yeah. And the other guy I was going to say is I've got to agree with Matty G. I was going to say Taylor May. I mean, I had a conversation with my mates the other day at the pub, and I said Taylor May easily on his day, top 5 best centers in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. I love it. That's look, the redemption story from Taylor May is one it's amazing to listen to. And, coming through that Penrith system, everyone thought, the May brothers, everyone knew they were good footy players. And yeah, Taylor's really shown that. So boys, for me, I'm going a bit, I'll go out on the edges. I'll say, obviously the Fainu boys, we know what they've brought, but I'm going to say Samuela Fainu, over the other two at the moment, only because I love the energy he's brought to this club. On that edge, I've just found that he's such a big body, but he's really agile too for a big guy. You don't often see it. Obviously, more common these days than it used to be back in the 90s when, the 80s and that. But second rowers now are so agile, and he's one of those players that if he gets into space, he's got a great offload on him. He's got a good pass. Anything can happen. So I'm really, really looking forward to big things from Samuela in 2026. He's a great player. And obviously Sione as well. Sione's been carving up, and I really like what he has brought. But yeah, Samuela for me, boys. All right.
Yeah,
let's talk a little. Yeah, thank you, mate. Let's talk a little bit of ladder finish for 2026. Now, this is where it gets juicy. I love it. All right, Dale, we're going to start with you. We'll leave our guest till last. Dale, where are the Tigers going to finish in 2026? Remember, all the fans are listening.
Oh, I know. It's honestly probably the toughest pick out of all the teams because, like I said before, it all comes down to their mentality. I reckon the skill and the I think they have all the ingredients in that team to make it happen, but it all comes down to their headspace. It's tough. It's really tough because I don't know what they're like at the moment. I'm going to go wishful thinking because I'm a fan, and I'm going to say 7th.
Whoa, wow, I like it. 7th.
Yeah.
Matty G, hit us, mate.
I'm going to go one better. I think we get the home final. I think there'll be a massive, massive push from the fans to hold it at Leichhardt Oval before they knock it down to rebuild it. And I think we finish in 6th place.
Oh, love that. Fire up, Tigers fans. Boys, I'm doubling down. Last year I backed the Tigers to make the 8 to break that finals drought. I'm going to say you're going to make the 8 again this year. Obviously didn't get it last year, so I'm going to double down this year. I'm going to say Tigers finish 8th. You scrape in and you play finals for the first time in a bit of a stretch for you guys. But yeah, I'll say 8th. So we've got 6th, 7th, 8th. How good. But yeah, Tigers fans, look, something to definitely look forward to. Let's hope that does happen and they can make the 8 for the first time in a long time. But boys, before we finish off, we got some last words. Matty G, I want you to fire up the fans for 2026, mate. Hit us with some last words.
Okay. This will be a legacy year for 2 people. One of them is our current 5'8", and the other one is the man who made that number 6 jersey so famous for the West Tigers. That is Jerome Luai and Benji Marshall. Benji Marshall will be the coach of the year this year when he guides the West Tigers to a finals berth for the first time in 15 years. Mark my words. It's a guarantee. It's not even up for debate. It's going to happen. Jerome Luai will prove everyone wrong. He'll prove he doesn't need no Nathan Cleary. He'll prove he is a leader. He is one of the best halves in the game, and he will guide that team to, like I said, 6th place, home final. And not only that, everyone get out to Leichhardt Oval. It's our last year before they turn it into something even more beautiful in 2028. But 2027, we're going to have obviously no Leichhardt. So especially those 3 games, obviously get to every game, but especially those 3 games, let's get 3 sellouts going. Even the Thursday night against Canberra, get down there and let's will our team on. And mate, we're playing finals 3 this year. I'm telling you, let's go. Claws out.
Oh, how good. Fire up. It's so good. All right, Dale, last words, mate, before we finish up.
Oh, I mean, how do I beat that? I mean, you should have started with me, mate. All I can say to the fans is just hang in there just a little bit longer. Good things are coming. Don't give up on the boys yet. Benji's got it all under control and the club's in the right direction.
Love it. Fantastic. Look, my last words. I hope Tigers fans. I hope the Tigers do well. I've always got a soft spot for the Tigers. So let's hope they go good. But look, that is all we have time for the West Tigers preview. Thank you so much for joining us on this awesome episode. Don't forget to check out our awesome sponsors at Wick Coffee. Head over to Wick Coffee. Check them out now for all your coffee needs. They do coffee machine repairs as well. Lots of beans, whole beans, ground beans, any beans you need. Head over to Wick Coffee now. But until next time, that's Matty G. That's Dale. I'm Joey. Be good.